This also follows all the stories about her bullying staff over here in the UK.
Playing the victim card, lashing out at all those horrible lies that all those nasty people tell about her.
I thought you'd been telling your truth, which is often a pack of lies.
Meghan Markle, meet the truth. Truth, meet Meghan Markle. I don't think you know each other. In fact, I fear that you're complete strangers.
She went too far, again. And this time, royal insiders say the palace isn't turning the other cheek. After years of staying silent, absorbing insult after insinuation, watching Meghan Markle shape her own narrative while casting the monarchy as an archaic, cold-hearted machine, Buckingham Palace may finally be ready to fight back. Major news has already broken in London. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will no longer receive public funds, and the use of their royal titles will be revoked.
Major breaking news out of London. Buckingham Palace announcing Harry and Meghan will no longer receive public funds and they will stop using their royal titles.
This decision wasn't made in a vacuum. It's the culmination of years of tension, a breaking point the palace has been quietly moving toward. Behind the scenes, officials say patience has worn dangerously thin. The woman who once called herself the Duchess of Sussex might be facing a reckoning she never believed possible. One that could bring to light the very truths she's tried for so long to suppress. For years, Meghan skillfully controlled the story. From TV interviews to emotional podcasts, from sleek documentaries to carefully crafted social media aesthetics, she portrayed herself as the wronged outsider, the one who broke free.
Talking of podcasts, Ms. Markle also told Emma that she's resting Confessions of a Female Founder. Resting? Resting as in rest in peace.
But that freedom came at a cost. And now, it seems the monarchy is no longer willing to pay it. Palace sources suggest that a long-buried internal report, commissioned after numerous staff complaints and ordered by the late Queen herself, may finally be revealed. The existence of this investigation has long been whispered about, but never confirmed. Now, insiders claim it could become public, soon. If even a portion of the contents leak, Meghan's meticulously polished public image may not withstand the impact. The timing is no coincidence. Charles is now securely on the throne. William and Catherine's popularity is rock solid. The institution has weathered its storms and stabilized.
William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles.
Back to the truth, something Meghan presumes she can manipulate to her own ends. Her truth, as opposed to the truth.
Meghan's constant jabs, veiled in self-empowerment and authenticity, have finally exhausted whatever goodwill may have remained. The late Queen reportedly received troubling emails during Meghan's short-lived tenure as a working royal, communications so disturbing that she ordered a full, external legal investigation. That report, although completed, has never seen the light of day. The palace's decision to keep it buried was deliberate, perhaps even compassionate. But that silence may now be interpreted not as mercy, but as enabling. With Meghan continuing to rewrite the past in her latest podcast appearances, insiders say the palace is under increasing pressure to defend its own reputation and the dignity of those who once served within its walls. Those affected staffers haven't forgotten. Some were driven to tears, others to resign.
She used the word authentic 25 times in that interview, Meghan did, but there was nothing authentic about it.
One reportedly left shaken and broken by the experience. These aren't anonymous whispers anymore. Several staffers are allegedly being contacted again by the media, by publishers, and even by sources close to the palace itself. And not all of them signed NDAs. As one royal source bluntly put it, they gave her rope. She used it. Meghan's insistence on publicly correcting the record may have just triggered the one response she's always feared. The palace speaking not in press-friendly soundbites but in cold, hard documentation. And what's especially dangerous for Meghan is that this story won't come from tabloids or royal commentators. It will come from a centuries-old institution with everything to lose and nothing left to gain by remaining silent. For Meghan, the collapse may already be underway. Her recent podcast appearance with British businesswoman Emma Grede was intended to be a soft power move,
Yeah, and you know why she says nothing is a failure? You know, because nothing is a failure, because then you learn from the experience. That's because everything in her life is turning into a failure. Everything is failing.
Instead, it left many listeners cringing. Emma, a sharp and accomplished figure in global entrepreneurship, didn't pander to royalty. She asked tough questions, and Meghan's vague, often contradictory answers fell flat. Her repeated use of the word authentic, over 24 times, only underscored how little authenticity listeners actually heard. When asked whether she would rewrite her story, Meghan answered, "I'd ask people to tell the truth." A strange statement, given that the palace's internal report, still unreleased, allegedly contains the kind of truth she doesn't want public. Her new lifestyle brand, Archetypes, with its $14 jars of artisanal jam, was supposed to be whimsical. Instead, it became the internet's latest joke.
And Meghan started accepting all these compliments. I know I'm great, aren't I?
Please no.
That's all she did on that podcast.
Yeah.
Sort of like increasingly nodded her head. Oh, yes, Meghan, you're so wonderful. Anyway.
Scam Jam trended almost immediately. Critics weren't just unimpressed, they were insulted. The same woman who once positioned herself as a voice for marginalized women was now hawking overpriced condiments on Instagram, while still refusing to acknowledge the serious allegations of bullying and mistreatment that have followed her for years. This was more than a PR blunder. It was a symbol of how disconnected Meghan has become from the very causes she once claimed to champion. The branding collapse was followed by something even more alarming: the sudden firing of her entire publicity team. 6 publicists, gone in one sweep. Officially, it was a restructuring. Unofficially, insiders say it was chaos, an emotional, unplanned decision made in a moment of panic. And behind the scenes, former staffers claimed they had been warning her for months. Address the allegations, acknowledge mistakes, don't keep poking the bear.
Is Her Montecito Majesty really maintaining that the Hollywood Reporter's investigation into her alleged brutal bullying of staff was all lies?
They lie all the time. Nothing they ever say seems to stand up to reasonable scrutiny.
She's a bully.
She's referring to the tales of bullying at the palace during her brief tenure as a working royal in the UK.
But Meghan reportedly didn't want management. She wanted applause. And when she didn't get it, she axed the team. The fallout was swift. Hollywood PR firms are now treating her as high risk, low reward. The brand deals are stalling. The streaming pitches are floundering. And perhaps most ominously, the palace is watching every move. Because they know what Meghan is trying to bury. And they know how damaging it could be if even a fraction of it sees the light of day. There's also the growing tension at home. While Meghan's team has always avoided discussing her marriage, recent outings and behind-the-scenes reports tell a different story. Prince Harry is reportedly withdrawn, frustrated, and exhausted by the non-stop circus.
Her awful antics were reported in an email to the late Queen, who ordered a full, external, independent legal probe, the results of which have never been published, but may well be if Meghan doesn't let it drop.
So it's no surprise to people who work at Buckingham Palace. They saw and witnessed all this here.
One source described the couple's dynamic as 2 executives stuck in the same company they can't afford to quit. Their once united front has begun to show cracks. His memoir, Spare, didn't heal. It fractured. His legal battles have only added fuel to the fire. And insiders say even he is beginning to question whether the cost of everything, the fame, the freedom, the brand, is worth the toll on his peace of mind. So what is this bombshell that everyone's whispering about? Some claim it's a strategic leak, excerpts from the never-released bullying investigation. Others suggest it's private communications, emails, texts, memos, documents that directly contradict several of Meghan's public statements.
There are growing calls to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough.
And then there's the theory that a respected, still silent insider, someone close to the late Queen, perhaps even a former staffer, could step forward, not out of malice, but out of duty. As one royal commentator said, when the monarchy fights back, It doesn't scream, it seeps. And it never misses. And this time, Meghan may be realizing the monarchy has more patience than she has ammunition.
Friend of the royal family, Hugo Vickers, who revealed the late Queen was so fearful of Harry and Meghan that she wouldn't want to be alone with them.
Insiders claim that William and Catherine have had enough. Meghan's barbs, veiled accusations of racism, depictions of coldness, subtle media digs, have consistently landed hardest on them. And yet, they've said nothing. Until now, their silence, according to sources, is turning to resolve. They want the record corrected. They want clarity.
You married into a monarchy. This isn't a brand collaboration. The truth? You had the chance to be timeless, except you chose to be trendy and fleeting.
And if that means green-lighting the release of the internal report, so be it. This isn't about revenge, it's about restoration. Meghan built an empire on perception, but perception only lasts as long as people are willing to buy it. And right now, fewer people are buying it than ever before. Her defenders are growing quieter. The elite circles she once moved in so effortlessly have stopped posting supportive selfies and motivational captions.
Everything is failing. So she's quantifying that by saying, well, even though it's essentially she's saying, even though I've desperately failed, it's a success because I've learned from the experience. No, Meghan, you've just failed.
Even her latest product launch, a pastel-hued rosé meant to complement her jam line, was met with more mockery than praise. The floor beneath her is buckling, and she's still spinning plates. And perhaps most tellingly, the palace isn't in a hurry. They're moving slowly, methodically. They know what's in the report. They know what the public doesn't yet. And they also know that once it's released, Meghan will have no counter-narrative powerful enough to override it.
Why can't she, for God's sake? What's wrong with her? The implication is clear. All the bad publicity the notoriously difficult Duchess gets, that ongoing avalanche of negative press, it's purely because the haters make up vile and hurtful fibs about her. Yeah, right.
Not a podcast, not a documentary, not a filtered Instagram post about motherhood or jam. This is the danger she now faces. A slow, deliberate, irrefutable unraveling. One she can't outtalk, one she can't sue away, one she can't curate. Meghan Markle's story is no longer hers alone to tell. The truth, or at least the palace's version of it, is coming. And it might just be the one force she cannot manipulate, outshine, or outrun. So what do you think? Has the palace finally had enough? Will they go public? And if they do, what damage could it really cause to Meghan's narrative and legacy? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is already on the way. And trust us, it's one you won't want to miss.